Have you ever wondered, amidst the storms, there are still secret islands out there that are not yet known to mankind? Places that the world map only shows a faint dot. But when you set foot there, you will see a hidden paradise, as if the earth still wants to keep its last secrets for itself. Palawan, Socotra Island. There is an island off the coast of Yemen, between the Indian Ocean and the Arabian Sea, that, seen from above, looks like a piece of land from another planet that crashed to Earth. It is called Socotra. People call it the alien island because the plants there look like they came straight out of a surreal dream. Walking along the dry hillsides, you will come across dragon blood trees towering high, their leaves spreading out like giant inverted umbrellas. When the trunks are cut, the sap that flows out is not the usual white color, but a deep red like blood, which has long been used as a medicine and fabric dye. Under the canopy, the sunlight casts strange shadows, giving one the feeling of walking in an unexplored world. Beyond dragon blood, Socotra is home to hundreds of species found nowhere else on Earth. Desert rose bushes tilt like sculpted ceramic vases, their stems swelling with water to survive the drought. The birds here have strange shapes and sounds, as if singing in a language unique to the island. But perhaps the most magical thing is the feeling that Socotra brings. Standing on the cliff overlooking the deep blue sea, the wind from the desert blowing and the smell of sea salt, you will see this place is not just a piece of land, but the intersection of two worlds, arid and fertile, harsh and gentle. Socotra is a reminder that the earth has many secrets, and beauty is not always easy to recognize. If one day you come here, listen to the wind blowing through the dragon blood leaves. Let the red sunset cover each rocky slope, and let your heart believe that even in the harshest places, paradise can still exist. 2. Easter Island. In the middle of the vast Pacific Ocean, more than 3,500 kilometers from the mainland of Chile, there is a small island that contains one of the greatest mysteries of mankind. People call it Rapa Nui, or more familiarly known as Easter Island. When setting foot on this land, you will immediately feel an atmosphere that is both sacred and mysterious, as if this place holds ancient memories that time has not yet erased. What astonishes the world are the hundreds of giant moai statues standing silently along the coast and across the fields. Each statue is 4 to 10 meters high, weighs tens of tons, and is carved from a single block of volcanic rock. They face the sea, their eyes seeming to penetrate space, silently observing the eternal waves. People wonder how the ancient inhabitants, without modern machinery, could move such giant blocks of stone over such a long distance. It is theorized that the Rapa Nui used ropes and human strength to walk, step by step on the ground. But to this day, the answer remains unclear. Each moai is not just a sculpture, but also a symbol of the ancestral spirit, a connection between humans and gods, between the past and the present. In addition to the statues, Easter Island also offers an irresistible wild beauty. The extinct volcanoes are covered with green grass. The craters form calm lakes reflecting the clouds and sky. Anakina Beach with white sand and green palm trees is considered a tropical paradise in the middle of the vast ocean. When night falls, the whole starry sky appears clearly, making you feel like you have stepped out of the modern world and returned to a primitive era of the universe. This tiny island, with an area of just over 160 kilometers, makes the whole of humanity look up, not because of its prosperity, but because of the questions that have never been answered. Easter Island reminds us that there are mysteries beyond human understanding, and it is these mysteries that make the Earth more wonderful. 3. Svalbard Islands. In the far north, where the summer sun never sets and the winter is shrouded in eternal darkness, lies an archipelago called Svalbard. Located between Norway and the North Pole, it is one of the most unspoiled places ever visited by humans. Svalbard is not your typical tropical paradise of white sand and turquoise waters, but a frozen paradise of ice and silence. The first image when you arrive in Svalbard is the white ice-covered mountains, the vertical cliffs reflecting the light like giant glass. The glaciers slide slowly down to the sea, where each iceberg breaks off, drifting like transparent castles. On the dark blue sea, the silhouettes of polar bears move silently, like guardian gods of this cold land. But Svalbard is more than just wildlife. It also houses one of the world's most mysterious and important structures, the global seed bank. Built deep into the mountain, this giant steel vault stores millions of seeds from around the world. In the event of war or disaster, this seed bank could become a gateway to new life on Earth. Svalbard is both a memory of the past and a hope for the future. Strangely, despite the harshness, Svalbard still brings a sense of peace that is hard to describe. When the north wind blows, when the sky is aglow with the purple-blue light of the aurora borealis, you will feel small but also part of the vast universe. In that moment, it seems like time has stopped. There is only the sigh of the wind, the crackle of the ice cracking, and the dancing lights in the endless sky. Svalbard reminds us that paradise is not only a warm, sunny place, but also a cold land where beauty is found in the silence and harshness. It is a paradise for souls seeking a pristine peace, where not a sound of the modern world can penetrate. 4. Palawan Island. If Svalbard is the icy kingdom of the North Pole, Palawan is a tropical dream in the heart of the Philippines. People call Palawan the last pearl of Asia, a place where nature remains untouched by time. As soon as the ship docks, you will see the towering limestone mountains rising from the turquoise sea, like giant walls surrounding secret coves. In the crystal clear water, schools of colorful fish swim, and the brilliant corals shine like an underwater garden. Palawan is not just an island, but a heavenly maze with hundreds of coves, freshwater lakes, and mysterious caves. One of the most famous wonders here is the Puerto Princesa underground river, a river that flows for more than 8 kilometers through the limestone mountains. When sitting on a small boat, the dim light of the flashlight shining on the sparkling stone arches, you will feel like you are entering a cathedral sculpted by the invisible hand of nature. The sound of trickling water echoes in the darkness, creating an ancient melody, making people both surprised and respectful. Not only underground rivers, Palawan also hides emerald green lakes in the heart of the mountains. Kayangan Lake is famous for its water so clear that you can see every stone at the bottom. Surrounding the lake are steep cliffs covered with dense forests, creating a majestic and magical scene. But what makes Palawan a paradise is not just the scenery, but also the tranquility. Despite being a place praised by tourists, Palawan still retains a rare peace. On the long white sand beach, you can lie down listening to the whispering waves, watch the sunset dye the horizon red, and in that moment, you will realize that you are in a place where time seems to stand still. Palawan is proof that, in the midst of the modern world, there are still paradises protected by nature as its last secret. It is not only a delight for the eyes, but also a place of serenity for the soul. A gentle reminder that we are inherently part of nature, and that nature is our true home. 5. Faroe Islands. In the middle of the North Atlantic Ocean, lying quietly between Norway and Iceland, there is an archipelago that few people know about, Faroe. This place is like a classic painting, painted with the deep blue of the sea, the soft gray of the fog, and the fresh green of the grass carpets stretching on the vertical cliffs. Faroe is not as brilliant as Palawan, not as mysterious as Easter Island, but it has a pure beauty that makes anyone silent when setting foot on it. As the small boat weaves through the mist, you will see tiny villages with green grass roofs nestled on the shore of the bay. Those houses seem to grow from the ground, blending with nature, simple and warm. In the distance, flocks of white sheep leisurely walk on the slopes, creating a scene so peaceful that it seems as if time here has stopped for centuries. The Faroe Islands are famous for their majestic sea cliffs, where the waves crash relentlessly, creating white foam like ribbons of silk. The Lofoten cliffs are so famous that they are called the lake hanging in the sky. When viewed from a certain angle, the lake appears to be floating in the clouds, higher than the vast ocean below, a natural illusion that makes people feel like they are lost in a dream. The Faroe Islands have a harsh climate, with strong winds and heavy rain, but that is what keeps the island so pristine. Every morning, thick mist covers the fields and cliffs, giving the landscape a magical feel, like a mythical land where ancient Norse tales still come to life. Faroe has no hustle and bustle, no shopping malls, and no crowded beaches. Instead, it offers a precious gift: silence. Standing on the cliff overlooking the deep sea, listening to the howling wind and the soaring seagulls, you will feel small, but also extremely free, as if touching the boundary between reality and fantasy. The Faroe Islands remind us that paradise is not all about the warm sunshine, but also the occasional rainy days, the cold mists, the moments when the heart finds peace in simplicity. It is a beauty that is not flashy, but deep and lasting, a secret in the ocean for those who have the patience to listen. 6. Madagascar Island, off the southeast coast of Africa, separated by the deep blue Indian Ocean, lies a giant island filled with wonders, Madagascar. Not only is it the world's fourth largest island, it is also a mysterious biological kingdom, where 90% of its animal and plant species exist nowhere else on Earth. People often call Madagascar the island of time, because its nature seems to be preserved from a distant era. Walking in the tropical rainforest of Madagascar, you will encounter giant baobab trees, their trunks swollen like giant pillars rising from the arid ground. The famous Baobab Road stretches along, with dozens of trees tens of meters high on both sides, their small leaves reaching up to the blue sky, creating a scene like something out of a fairy tale. When the sun sets, the shadows of the baobab trees stretch long on the red basalt ground, creating a picture that is both wild and magical. Madagascar is also home to lemurs, agile creatures with glowing eyes and echoing cries deep in the forest. They hop from tree to tree like little forest spirits, reminding us that life always finds a way to survive and spread, despite the harshness. In addition, the orange chameleons, whose color changes with each breath, also contribute to the feeling of a secret Garden of Eden. More than just jungles, Madagascar also boasts pristine beaches with fine white sand, vibrant coral reefs, and emerald waters. In the northwest of the island, the Nosy Be archipelago appears like an emerald in the ocean, where whales, dolphins, and sea turtles gather together. When night falls, the sky over Madagascar becomes a carpet of stars, so bright that you can see the Milky Way running across the dark sky. Madagascar is not only a natural paradise, but also a memory box of ancient stories. Indigenous tribes still maintain their customs. Small villages made of wood and clay still echo with the sound of traditional drums in the dark. There, one feels the connection between people and the land, the trees and the sea, a harmony that has existed for thousands of years. Madagascar is like a dream that Earth sends us, reminding us that life can bloom in 1,000 different ways. And paradise lies not only in its external beauty, but also in the diversity and magic of life itself. 7. San Blas Islands. In the middle of the turquoise Caribbean Sea, along the coast of Panama, lies a small but magical archipelago called San Blas. Comprising more than 350 islands, the San Blas are like pearls scattered across the sparkling sea, each one holding its own secret. Some are just big enough to hold a few coconut trees and a thatched hut, while others are larger and contain small indigenous villages. What makes San Blas a hidden paradise is not only the beauty of the blue sea and white sand, but also the presence of the Guna Yala people, one of the rare communities that still live in harmony with nature. They build houses from wood and palm leaves, fish in small boats, and weave colorful molas with patterns that represent the universe, the spirit, and the sea. Life here is so simple that it seems like the modern world has never touched it. The San Blas Sea is so clear that you can see coral reefs and schools of tropical fish swimming right below your feet. When the sun is high in the sky, the water shines like a giant mirror reflecting the blue sky. When the sun sets, the sky turns orange and purple, turning the ocean into a sea of fire. These moments make people feel as if time has stopped to preserve the splendor. But San Blas is more than just a tourist destination. It is a reminder that there are still places on Earth where life is natural, where people and the sea are one. Sitting on the sand, listening to the waves and the Guna singing during the festival, you will feel the primal connection between people and the planet. A connection that we have forgotten in many other places. San Blas is a secret paradise, not only because it is beautiful, but also because it holds for humanity a lesson. Happiness does not lie in complex things, but in simplicity, in the way we know how to listen to the rhythm of the sea and the wind. 8. Bora Bora Island. In the middle of the Pacific Ocean, in the French Polynesian archipelago, there is a pearl so sparkling that many call it the Queen of the Pacific. That is Bora Bora, an island that has long been a symbol of paradise, where love and dreams are lit up in the endless blue sea. From above, Bora Bora appears like a surreal painting. An extinct volcano rises at its center, surrounded by a turquoise lagoon sheltered by a ring of white coral. The water is so clear you can see schools of small fish swimming beneath your feet, and the colorful coral stretches out like a secret garden on the seafloor. What makes Bora Bora so special are the small wooden houses that are suspended over the water. When you open the door early in the morning, you will see the calm sea like a mirror, the first sunlight covering each sparkling ripple. At night, the sky is full of stars, and you feel like you are in the middle of a bridge connecting the sky and the sea. Beyond its natural beauty, Bora Bora is also a place where people find tranquility. Under the shadow of the majestic Mount Otamanu, you can hear the wind blowing through the palm trees, the waves crashing on the soft white sand, and let your heart settle in absolute peace. This place is not only a destination for couples, but also for anyone looking for a place to slow down, to listen to themselves. Bora Bora also contains ancient Polynesian legends about the gods who created the mountains and the sea, about the eternal love between humans and nature. When sitting by the fire on the sand, listening to the locals tell ancient stories, you will realize that Bora Bora is not only a paradise of scenery, but also a paradise of the soul. Bora Bora Island, with all its romance and magic, reminds us that in the vast ocean, there are still places born just for beauty, for love, and for immortal dreams. 9. Santorini Island. In the middle of the blue Aegean Sea, Santorini appears like a white silk strip stretching across the sky and the ocean. This is one of the most famous islands of Greece. But its beauty comes not only from the architecture or landscape, but also from the history and mystery that has surrounded this place for thousands of years. Santorini was born from a massive volcanic eruption more than 3,000 years ago. The explosion ripped the island into an arc, creating the flooded crater we know today as a caldera. The remnants of that natural disaster inadvertently created one of the most spectacular landscapes on the planet. Vertical cliffs hundreds of meters high, hugging the blue sea, topped by pristine white houses with blue domes, reflecting the brilliant Mediterranean sunlight. As you walk along the winding cobblestone streets, Santorini looks like a dream straight out of a painting. The light here is magical. Bright mornings, golden afternoons, and sunsets so magical they say they can stop time. In the village of Oya, as the sun sets, the sky and water turn orange, and thousands of people watch in silence, as if witnessing the miracle together. But Santorini is not just a beautiful island, it is also associated with unanswered questions. Many scholars believe that this place may be related to the legend of Atlantis, a civilization that disappeared under the sea. The remains of ancient cities buried under volcanic ash, pottery fragments, stone walls, all evoke a past that is both glorious and tragic. Today, Santorini is a paradise of fusion, disaster and rebirth, past and present, land and sea, people and myth. Every step on the island brings us closer to a big question. Is true beauty born only from the collision of destruction and regeneration? Santorini quietly answers with its own beauty, a beauty that makes us believe that in the ashes, there are always paradises lit. 10. Seychelles Islands. In the middle of the vast Indian Ocean, far from the noisy shipping lanes, there is an archipelago that many people liken to a paradise painted by nature. Seychelles. Consisting of 115 large and small islands, this place is a perfect combination of primeval forests, pristine beaches, and crystal-clear turquoise waters. What sets Seychelles apart is its long stretches of fine white sand, dotted with giant granite boulders, polished like natural sculptures. When the sun shines down, Anse Source d'Argent Beach glows like a crystal painting, where sand, rocks, and waves blend into an endless song. It is no coincidence that this place is regularly ranked as one of the most beautiful beaches in the world. Hidden behind that beauty are primeval forests full of life. Tall palm trees reach up to the blue sky, rare birds sing loudly, and especially the coco de mer tree, a unique palm species found only in Seychelles. Its fruit is so large that it is considered a legendary symbol, associated with love stories and the fertility of heaven and earth. Beyond the forests and sand, the Seychelles is a treasure trove of underwater treasures. Colorful coral reefs, dolphins, sea turtles, manta rays, and hundreds of species of tropical fish create a vibrant dance in the deep ocean. As you dive into the crystal clear waters, you'll feel like you've entered a secret Garden of Eden, where life is woven with light and movement. Seychelles is not just a place to see beauty, but also to feel the delicate balance of nature. The people here have kept the archipelago from being overly commercialized, so that every visitor can still hear the pristine waves, smell the cool forest, and see the starry sky without the dust of the city. As night falls, standing on the beach of Seychelles, you will see the Milky Way clearly, stretching from one horizon to the other. In that moment, you will realize that paradise is not just a distant concept, but a living reality right here on this planet, where land, water, wind, and life harmonize into an eternal melody.